look who it is. It's me and the original, the one and the only, unapologetically brilliant. Y'all know how we coming through. We not coming through. We ain't just no average. I got me a look at this. I learned how to use I got my microphone now. You don't want none. Y'all think this is a joke out here. Y'all better recognize Cheryl now up in here, lady, madam, unapologetically brilliant. Y'all think we playing out here in these YouTube streams and on Facebook. They should have never gave me this microphone. I just want to let you know. Kofi, it's your fault. It's your fault, Kofi. That's right. It's going down. That's how it's going down. That's how it's going down. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I know you guys are like, oh man, it's our people. It's our people. Cheryl and Ladosha. It's going down. Cheryl, like, Now I'm gonna be bad that you said I got my hair all combed over to the side. I'd have pinned it over because I know it's gonna get hot under these YouTube lights. Y'all know I don't look like this in real life. I got these lights sitting over here on me. And when I tell you it's hot, okay? That's one thing about being a podcaster is like how you look on camera. That's not how we look in real life. We just want you guys to understand this, all right? We don't.
I don't have any lights.
My skin ain't all bright. This orange lipstick is ugly as hell, but on this camera, it looked pretty good. But I was like, oh no. So we have an interesting topic today. We're going to get into it. But before we get into it, we got to talk about just a little bit, this whole, how you just going to kill 10 innocent Black people. I mean, whatever color, but it's a hate crime. We already know what that's all about. Did you see that? Did you see that? I just lost my aunt, but I tell you, I mean, to have a family member go to the grocery store of all places and just not come back, that is just like tragic beyond what any words can capture. So when I saw that, I couldn't believe it. I'll just be honest.
I am under the impression, and I know I'm, my head is, I go to different places in my mind. There's going to be a point. We've been here 403 years. It's been 1619, 2019, it's been 400. And we are in the third year, right?
Right.
And there's got to be a couple of conclusions we have to draw. And maybe, we still want to do some traditional 19th and 20th century things. But I think that it is time for some 21st century talks with, some white folks and just let them know that, the profile is clear that there is something psychologically going on with our neighbors and our European neighbors. And I think that the more, think that the browning of America, it has always been an issue. But I really think that is not getting better. And so either the laws have got to protect the citizens, they can't have guns.
Yeah,
They cannot have guns. And unless you're law enforcement. Because it's becoming a hazard. And I know it's a freedom, but the history is not good.
The history with guns.
Yeah,
it's the same. To me, I know you're like, it ain't got nothing to do with hair. It don't have anything to do with hair. But I hope if you guys have been following us, first of all, before I make this comment, a couple of shout outs. Miss Foster, I was hoping you was going to be here first because this one is dedicated to you. So thank you so much. We got my homegirl, Shauna. in the chat. That's my that's Aura. Right? I see. I'm making her mine, but she's really our sister from Canada. And we got my homeboy Javante, my BFF from Atlanta, is representing. Y'all coming through already, real fast, real fast. So Shirley, now we always appreciate you guys so much. But let me just say that as more people are coming through. Um, so even though this is not about hair, but I hope if you guys have been following us by now, I hope you guys are definitely coming to the conclusion the importance of history. And I'm not saying that history is the answer. I'm not going to be in my little la la world. But what I'm saying about history is that when it's in its proper context and we talk about these things, if they would just know the truth, we wouldn't have people believing such rhetoric of a thing called white supremacy. If we told the truth about gun history, why did they have those guns in the first place? They were really trying to protect themselves from each other. They make them guns to come after us first. Am I right, Cheryl?
Absolutely. And I think
guns were not created to kill Black people. When they invented those guns over there in Europe, it wasn't even about world domination. It was about them against each other. And now they done took the fight against each other and it's then went out against the world. And if we could use our voices and the truth, because history is leaving the footprints for us to see what's happening. Even if we might tell it a little differently, like the way I talk, the way Cheryl, like I'm key low. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just coming up like, oh. You know, sure, she got another approach, but we're still saying the importance of our content. And I just believe in my heart of all hearts, if we would just tell the truth according to proof, we wouldn't have so much of this. That for a kid, he's a kid. And where is he? How is he still being sucked into this number? And I'm gonna blame it on 45 and his parents. You know, though he is ultimately responsible for his behavior, but the parents and the community, we play a role in our youth. We can't be throwing away our youth. We cannot do that, guys. And so his distorted view of, you know, Black people going to take over, that was allegedly was in his manifesto. What do you think about this whole Black people going to take over the world and ain't going to be no more white people? I mean, what's up with that? What's that called? Eugenics or something? I don't know. What is that?
Well, you have to understand, you know, you have, just in terms of historical perspective, anthropologically speaking, you've never been in survival mode. African people or African descending people have only been in survival mode in the last 400 years. They have always been in survival mode. And so we have, and one of the things that I was saying at the beginning, I don't think that we're really having a conversation that we should have with our European counterparts.
Yes.
There's something socially and some things that we need to talk about in terms, because it is going to, it has always been hazardous to our health and well-being to be in a proximity of living next to them. Not because that all of them are dangerous people, but right, because there is an anthropologic underlining sense of fear and sense of discomfort, serious social anxiety, and things that, let me just be clear, how can you have a uniform, a badge, a bulletproof vest, a gun, a stunt gun, a billy club, a K9, a car, distance, bullets, and all those things.
Don't forget the radar in the sky, you know.
And all this, and still fear for your life. That is something that there is something that is not, we're not talking about. And I think that there's a lot of sociologists and psychologists and psychiatrists that understand it, but we are just going to put it into what we call an ism make it a phantom, make it out
Okay.
there, and then not
Okay.
talk about the fact that it is probably a group phenomenon in the midst of people of color that is triggered by um, darker skinned people. There is something there, and how can this young kid even be in proximity of that kind of vile um, kind of fear when
Yeah.
he's a Gen Z? That's not his reality. How did
Right.
that get there? And
That's
so
what
when
I'm saying.
yeah, there is something in the socialization. There's something in the socialization. You
Yeah,
can't.
we see some comments in the chat. We have our homegirl Foster, C Foster, here on YouTube, and she's saying, she writes, "Fear of a Black Planet." Dr. Francis Cress Welsing used to say that. I remember Public Enemy,
Yeah,
fear of a Black Planet. We got my homeboy, my BFF Chill is in the Heezy. What's up, Chill? We got my homeboy, Mr. Lee. What's up, Mr. Lee? I'm doing it. But the earbuds wasn't working out. We gonna talk about my little thing. Something happened, but I will get to that later. I know he like, where them headphones at? But anywho, yeah. So she says there's also a book that she has, and it's called Iceman Inheritance, written by a white man, that says white aggression comes from them having to live/evolve under harsh conditions of the cold mountains and caves of Europe. I've never heard of this. If you
no,
have heard of this um, conversation or book, share with us as we're waiting for some more people to come through. We have a wonderful, wonderful topic that we're going to be discussing today, and this is why Cheryl and I were here. You know what I'm saying? I'm always joking. Sure, she be all serious. Y'all know me. Get on. Fabulous. Money makes the world go round, so let's handle this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always the one to keep things, funny and, drop my thing. Whoops, all that good stuff. But really, guys, we are really here to, make the learning fun and interesting so that you can help change the narrative, which, by the way, it is the name of our upcoming documentary. It's called The Narrative. And we're talking about what? The truth about Afro hair. And we think that this type of user friendly, modality of a documentary is a great way to inspire, to have conversations and not let it be intimidating. I truly feel in my heart that had that young man been exposed to maybe even both sides, if your parents or whoever you're around, if somebody wants to tell you you're the best and nobody's better than you, that's your prerogative, but you still need to hear the other side of the story. So at least he had something to play up against. Of course, this is wishful thinking. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm just a colorist, a hairstylist. But I believe in my heart that we have to start giving out the right information. And then, like Cheryl said, we have to start having these conversations. And nobody's going to get rid of. We're all here for a reason. I don't know. Is it more Black people on the planet? I mean, what is this? Is his fear real? I mean,
well, and let me just go here. I don't attest to, um, and Frances Cress Welsing was a colleague of mine. Well, and I knew her only a short time being in New York. And Michael Bradley. I was actually at a lecture. But let me just say this: I actually really do believe that Europeans have been here a long time, but if our remedy in conversation with sitting down with them is to pray it and sing it and march it and to create another phenomenon called racism when we already know that that's just made up in terms of trying to brush over the fact that there is a human being, a branch and a strand of human beings that are in power, that are triggered socially and anthropologically in ways that make them dangerous to themselves and to the flourishing of other people. And something
mhm.
is triggering this type of behavior. It's been consistent ever since they've been evolved. Maybe there's something going on in the evolution. Maybe they are not progressing. Maybe it is them regressing. I don't know. But I believe that as their earthly partner, as people of color and Black folks, we need to not have the conversation as if it's a thing. No,
Right.
it's a group of
Mm.
particular people who have a consistent historical behavior, and why don't we just talk about it? But I believe that Black sociologists that deal with police who shoot and police who kill, people who kill in terms of that kind of energy, we're just gonna, it's not, we shouldn't broad stroke it. We should approach it in 21st century language,
Okay.
21st
Yeah.
century. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Right. We have to, guys. We have to. But, it can't just be Cheryl and I having the conversation. If you are in a space, I don't care how you're working. You could be a floor sweeper. You could be a journalist, a hairstylist, baby mama, baby daddy. I don't care what you want to call yourself. Whatever capacity you're as she said, we're having this human exchange. If you have the opportunity in a very purposeful way. You don't want to be offensive, to just kind of help change the narrative. Take the opportunity to let people know when you can, how you can, the best way that you can. We have to let these people know. And like I said, I know we can't change their minds. We're not trying to do that. But sometimes it could just be that one statement that just might make a person rethink what they are about to do. So again, that's Ubuntu. That's the humanity, of what it is to be a human. Now I know some of y'all in the chat like, and that don't make them human. I know that, but we still have to do our part. What's up, Miss Beulah? So nice to have you in the chat. I know you and I were both missing my auntie Mary. So thank you so much for for still staying with me. And we missing my auntie. Also, BFF said, yeah, he had Iceman Inheritance, and he recalls that book. And then welcome, Miss Angela Eskridge. We're so glad to have you on the platform. And so we're going to have a wonderful, wonderful discussion today. And it's all about the paraben-free, the silicone-free. Let's not forget the famous sulfate-free. So this one is dedicated to Miss Foster. And Miss Foster, because you were so kind to give us some exchange. And remember, this is what this platform is all about. And again, you are listening to, or you're watching the dumbest hit that people say about Black hair. Cheryl, now we just gonna bust up the chivalry. So you are the lucky winner of a wonderful t-shirt today. So I'm going to mail that off to you, provided you live in the United States, because it costs too much for us to send this stuff worldwide. So every week we're going to be giving away some goodies. So make sure y'all stay down with Cheryl and I, and we're going to have some wonderful stuff. So Miss Foster, this is what you get. You was the first one in the chat. So hopefully we can just keep the momentum going. The chat always remains on fire. And then, like I said, Cheryl and I, we really, really, really appreciate you guys for joining us. So get your questions ready, because I know she like, I'm in Michigan, so send my t-shirt right now. She like, fold it up and don't get no makeup on it. Don't worry, Miss Far. I'm gonna wash my hands real good, make sure I don't get none of this stuff on there, because there's a lot of makeup. My skin don't look like I said, this light makeup. Everybody look cute, okay? So we are gonna have a wonderful discussion about. Now, I did bring up some products because now, by the way, before I bring these products up, I just want to say that Cheryl and I, we are not endorsing these products. We do not represent the brand. This is exclusively for content purposes. So we're not here to tell you that you have to buy these things. I do use them in the salon, but I do not represent either of these brands. But sulfate free and paraben free is some of the hottest thing that's smoking on the planet. As a matter of fact, if you don't see sulfate and paraben free on your products, you're probably wondering, like, should I use it? One of the the biggest promoters of sulfate free, where you don't see the suds, is my homegirl Diva Shine of Diva Curl. And so she's got the sulfate free with the no poo, meaning it doesn't lather. And then you have, this is a relatively new company. I'm not that familiar with them. Some of you might be. So if you are representing any of these companies, go ahead on and drop the content of where people can find your products at. Okay. So this is Straight Request, and they have a sulfate free shampoo for itchy scalp. Okay. Now I'm just gonna be honest. Now you know, Cheryl, I'm the instigator. You already know. Okay. Now I'm just gonna be honest. All right. I'm about to keep it 100. Okay. Yes, we got some more chances to win more goodies, Sean. I'm telling you now. I got you. I found some way to send something to you to Canada. I'll pull it out my hat if I have to. Okay. So Sean, you're the only person I'm gonna send something to. Everybody else, y'all gotta send me y'all money. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I have my reservations about sulfate free in all capacities. So I'm gonna turn it over to you, and now my product line is sulfate and paraben free. I'll be honest with you. I do like some things about it, but remember, this is a play on the whole thing of right products, right tools, right techniques, right? So I don't push my product to every single person. I don't do that because everything is not for every single person. So now this paraben sulfate free thing, it's been going on for about, I want to say 15 years now. If I recall, my memory serves me correct. It's been about 15 years that sulfate and paraben free, and silicones was in the late early 90s, mid 90s, and all of a sudden silicones were like, don't use them. So where you want to start off with? Are we going to start off with the sulfate, or can we paraben, or you know, where you want to go, how you want to get it started?
Either way.
Oh, all right, Miss Foster. Miss Foster says she ready, so we're gonna work it down. She said, "Yep, she got her fingers on the keys." You thirsty? Hold on, this for you, Miss Foster. Hold on, wait a minute. She like, hold on, hold on, Miss Foster. You go, oh. She wants some of that knowledge, Cheryl. She wants some of that knowledge. Okay, Miss Foster, this one dedicated to you. So you're gonna get your questions on. Get your questions on. All right, so we're gonna work our way from the low to the high. So let's start off with, instead of sulfate and silicones first. she cracking up. All right, y'all laughing at me in the chat. What's up, Andrea? All right, y'all coming through in the chat. So let's start off with paraben free. Now, what is a paraben? Is it free? Is it free at Amazon? Free at Walmart? You know, is it free like Wi-Fi? What's up with paraben free?
All right. So I'm going to ask some rhetorical questions, and obviously I can't communicate with the people in the chat. But
Miss Foster, get your keyboards ready. Everybody, get by your keyboards and get ready to start, because you're gonna ask some questions. Now I'm gonna be the goofy one by proxy until you guys' answers come through the chat. All right. So ask us some questions about we're segueing into paraben free.
Okay. In the cosmetic world, you have a chemist, you got a CEO, and let's just say we'll go straight down to the cosmetologist, right? And the ones who are, I would say, carrying or starting or igniting, setting it off, like don't use certain things and use certain things and don't use certain things. You always have to wonder why they're saying it, especially when they know something has to replace it. So what are we replacing it with? And I'm just going to say that right before Aveda came into prominence, they had what you call a chemical agenda. And at that point, everything else began to, you started seeing content in Google, and everybody started saying parabens were bad. And one of the reasons why parabens were bad, or they got a bad rap, was because pharmaceutical or cosmeceuticals and pharmaceuticals begin to put these things in skincare, or especially deodorants. And because gynecologists and medical doctors be, in dealing with estrogen levels, they begin to say that parabens would be absorbed in the armpits and go into the lymph nodes and into the breast tissue. Now, with that being said, last week we already said that your skin is a barrier. And so my goal with you guys in asking and putting this before I get into the paraben is just a preservative. The problem with cosmetic don't use is that they forgot that there is a industrial grade of parabens, industrial grade of sulfates, industrial grade of silicone. Then there's a food, what they call big agriculture. And then there's a pharmaceutical, and then there's a cosmeceutical, and then there is usually a cosmetic grade. What paraben grade are we talking about? Don't use. So if I'm eating it, why am I not? Why did I stop and have a big deal about the cosmetic usage of parabens? All parabens naturally could be found in the plant kingdom. The problem is that when you have medical research that sets the alarm about something that could be hormonal therapy or treatment in terms of lymph nodes and estrogen, that's a medical reason. But at the end of the day, your scalp would not absorb it that way.
Well, why do people keep saying like, y'all know, come on, y'all in the chat. Don't make me be the bad girl, but I'm gonna be bad because I like being bad. Whoop whoop. So
So you're eating parabens when you eat all berries. All
sure,
berries.
You got a hand clap. We got because we have a little chemist here in the chat. We got Miss Andrea Catlin, and she makes a lot of wonderful products, and she's got this real fancy you got to see her digs on where she makes her products at. It's called Catlin Naturals. So she's giving you a yeah. So what do you guys have to say about a paraben that you're eating called a berry? So how is a berry a paraben? Because when you turn these bottles around, let me just before you get ready to answer that, let me just read some of these ingredients. Sodium coca glyceroglucoside, sodium coca. You get where I'm going with this. This stuff sounds really scary. Ain't that right, Miss Foster? Shauna's in the chat like, it does. This stuff sounds really scary. So parabens, these terms sound really scary. So for you to just take that and say that it's a berry, help us, unpack.
But I mean, at the end of the day, if I called vitamin E by its, by its species, by its name, by its chemical name, or you wouldn't know what I was talking about.
So what's vitamin E? Let's see, what's that one called?
It's topolferol.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would scare me. I've seen that, to be honest. Okay. So we're learning now. Some of this we may already know that the names can be fancy.
Yeah, but most people, and I would probably say most people, are allergic to vitamin E. So is it bad?
I don't know, guys. All right. So
let me just say this: cosmetic grades, food grades, and industrial grades, let's just say, and they all have to do with molecular weight. Now, would I put motor oil on my hair? No. But is it the same essence of another oil? Yes. Motor oil is this big, cosmetic grade of jojoba oil, this big, and then essential, this big. So it's all grades. and you're not talking about the same, but you wouldn't put an essential oil in your car. But yet it's an oil. So it is much more sophisticated than that. You can't just, a paraben is a preservative, but you just brushed your teeth with one, or you just ate, some cranberry juice, or whatever the case may be, or some fruit cocktail, or whatever the case may be, if something came in a can. But here we go again, when Aveda and companies like that come and they say, no, don't use this and don't use that, and we don't know which one they're talking about, but it just gets a brush stroke, and then all of a sudden parabens get a bad name, and then they end up on cosmetic labels, and you're eating them every day.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but she's right. There's an entire website, and it says, chemicals to avoid. And this stuff, guys, I'm telling you, she's absolutely correct. You know what I put? Buyer beware. You guys have to be careful and understand, like she says, some of these companies have an agenda. And this is why we are here to help you guys stay on course with your agenda. Because what they say and what you want are two different things. So she just told you that parabens are specifically a preservative. Is that what you just said? Okay, so how do these parabens preserve products? So when we open them up, what does that mean? Is that the smell?
Well, it is. It depending on your formulation and depending on what your formulation is, you have to put some kind of herbicide and hopefully create the texture and to make sure that the product doesn't break up. And that's superficial about parabens, but my goal is that to solidify and keep the integrity of the substance that you're putting in the jar. That is what that they're for. Okay. To try to keep the texture and the integrity of the consistency and the texture of they don't go around.
We wouldn't want to buy that shampoo if it looked like chalky and icky and sticky. We want to see that nice, it looks like a shampoo. We want to smell it. We don't want to open this up and we start seeing, fungus and stuff growing inside the bottle. What's the shelf life of I know it varies but just, is there an average shelf life for a hair care, like a shampoo or a conditioner?
Shelf life is a legal aspect. It is not a natural thing. It has nothing to do with the quality of a product. Products don't know when to expire.
Oh, check that out, Miss Foster. What's up, Muslima? We got Muslima in the house. What's up, Tarnisha? What's up, Tarnisha? Shauna said you just blowing her back. Oh, she done fell out the chair. Get up off the floor. Get up off that floor, girl. Come on now, y'all. Stay with us. Don't leave us. Stay with us. You live and direct with the unapologetically one and only Cheryl Morrow and your homegirl Ladosha Wright. And we are discussing paraben free, sulfate free, silicone free. Everything is free except Wi-Fi ain't even free no more. So she's letting you guys know that you just, they say they like you got
the moment you open it, that's when you're setting the shelf life. If it's closed and it doesn't. If oxidation begins the time, if it's not, and you don't know when it was made, you may look up under the bottom of that bottle and you may see some numbers to where it was some dates on where it was made and what batch. And what batch does it belong to in case something happens to it and you got to send it back, or something is on that bottle that lets you know. But the moment, it's mighty funny that the shelf life begins when you buy it, not when they, it's real ironic that they always say, oh, well, you have the receipt. I'm saying, well, if you made it, you had to open it, and you had when you closed it, so when does the shelf life start? But let me just say that, it's a large conversation with shelf life and expiration dates. and
Right.
things go rancid. Now, if something's going to go rancid and if something's going to change and break up and y'all need to put it in the refrigerator and things of that nature, it is decomposing when you buy it or but the moment you open it. You know,
It's a large market of people bring me stuff that they have to put in the refrigerator. Listen, I'm not making this up. What's up? What's up, Jody? We got Canada. Come on through, y'all. We loving y'all tonight. We loving you guys tonight. So this is a true story. I'm not making this up. There was an episode on Dr. Oz. Okay, I'm not making this up. And this lady has some type of a berry conditioner that you had to put in the refrigerator, and a customer of mine, she bought this berry stuff. I don't know what it's called, but it was like some berry stuff, and she put it in her hair, and I'm telling you, it was like dust. It was like the product had turned into dust in her hair. And she says that she was putting it in the refrigerator, but it looked like yogurt packaging, but it was really a conditioner for hair. So explain that again about, because if you're buying these products that are telling you to put them in the refrigerator, can you repeat that? Because I had never heard of that until she brought that in.
Putting it in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
And remember at the beginning of my talk, there's 3 people that you need to be reminded that is selling you something: a cosmetologist, a CEO, and a chemist. They all are all coming from 3 different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
And the YouTube phenomenon of people just saying things, they are not coming from a premise of they're just trying things. Now, let me just say this. When you cannot make a food a cosmetic, and you can't make a cosmetic a food, and you certainly can't make it conducive to industry. So but when you have and you're putting and you're trying to make a food which you have to refrigerate as soon as you open it, that's a food grade, and there's something in there that is not cosmetic grade. And one of the things that I teach all of my entrepreneurs who come to me and I consult on their product line, I make sure that we're going to make cosmetics, not food. That's very important. It's not, and let me just say this before I go into the sulfate and silicone. You have an herbal grade, then you have an organic grade, okay? And then you have a botanical grade, all, and then you have a natural.
Don't you have what about USP? I see that on some products. Philip Pelusi makes a product, and the aloe vera always says USP. What is that?
That is if that's a legal or
Okay.
a requirement of Food and Drug Administration, but Food and Drug doesn't regulate. See, here we go again. You have to bring the FDA in if y'all gonna be making food and cocktails and salad dressing for Black folks to be using on their hair. We are from cosmetic science, not food science. Food goes in your mouth, not on your skin and hair.
Do not put yogurt in your hair. Please stop cracking. What I know we're kind of veering off. We're gonna get to the next one, but right quick. So she's telling you guys that some of this stuff is legal terms. You're talking about molecules. You're talking about different grades. I know it's gonna come through the chat, so I'm gonna jump on in and say it. And then Shauna, I'm gonna get to your comment a little bit too. Andrea, we got some people. We appreciate you guys again so much. We really, really do. But what about cracking that egg over your head? You know that people like, well, what about people who don't have money? They can't afford it. And you crack an egg and pour some beer. Don't that make the egg, the yolk, just it get in there? Don't it get in there, Cheryl? Come on, stop hating on them eggs on sale, 3 for 99 cents. Well, now it's $9.
Now, as I was going to say before, something natural cannot alter something natural. You must have a cosmetic metabolic pH change. How else is something natural going to change something natural? It's only going to give it an appearance for temporarily for a couple of hours, and then it's going to get dusty and shine. and then you're going to want to use the egg. It's not having a relationship with the surface of the thing. It's
Listen
not.
here. This is not an entanglement chat. Do y'all hear that? Ain't no entanglement going over here between me and Cheryl and y'all in this food thing. Y'all got this right? Ain't no entanglement happening here. She just told y'all for once and for all, them two can't hook up, can't get together now. It's not gonna happen.
Well, they can, but the point of the matter is that herbal and, well, let me ask you a question. You go into a store, right? If you don't understand the difference between natural, organic, herbal, or botanical, then it doesn't it doesn't mean anything. And so let me just say this: if you go into the store, you got 10 lemons for $1.
Right?
Go over there and get that one lemon for $5. Which lemon do you think is better?
I don't know about y'all, but I'm gonna say the $5 limit. Anybody like that $5 limit? Somebody there in the chat.
My cosmetic experience is in organic, which means that I had to specifically take that lemon out of its natural environment because the soil could be mineral deficient. It could be problems with the weather. It could be pesticides. It could be insects. It could be anything. So the lemon I have taken and put it in all of its prime environment. The best water, hydroponics, and all the best light, the best oxygen, no insects, no nothing. Now, so is that man-made? Yeah. Is the lemons 10 for $1 that look dusty and hard and don't have a juice? Were they grown in the natural dirt? Yeah. But is that what you want? No. So that's the difference between cosmetic and natural. Just because it's natural does not necessarily mean that it's the best lemon it can be if it had all of the best set of environments. So what I'm saying to you, and I know this information is so,
it is
unfortunately, heartbreaking because we spent so much time not dealing with real cosmetic science, and we're just doing a lot of folklore and urban legend and just myth.
So Muslima is saying that you are very powerful. Ms. Foster is saying that that's what they said people did back in the day before modern shampoo and conditioner. There is no record of that. I just want to say that was folklore. I'm going to be honest. She is right. Some of this stuff is being passed down. We have to keep that in mind. But you're right. That's what they say, but there's no evidence of that. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Andrea is saying FDA regulates labels and not personal care products. Shauna says there's a line called Natural All. They have products that have to go in the fridge or the freezer. Wow, that's really intense. Okay. She's never used it before, but we want you guys to understand the difference between the three. Let the chemists got your back. Even though we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on all of these social media platforms. Make no mistake, okay, that we are not we're not trying to, like put down the people who do those types of things. But what we're saying to you guys is that you have science. Let me say it again. Science is working in your favor. So let's move right on over to one of my favorites, and that is Sulfate free. Now I'm ready to get into this one because I like sulfate free, but I'm telling you right now, we just gonna unpack it. So anybody that's using sulfate free, or drop your SS in the chat right quick. Come on and drop your SS in the chat right quick. I got some giveaways for the people who put the SS in the chat. All right. So I'm sorry, the SF. I'm sorry, SF, sulfate free in the chat. If you know about that sulfate free shampoo, we just went over parabens. We got sulfate free here. We got this one is a very popular sulfate free line. While you guys are getting ready to drop your S, there we go. We just got one in the chat. Thank you so very much. All right, Shauna, you got it. You got. They saying preach, girl, preach. All right, powerful Muslima, we got your SF in the chat. All right, guys, you know what I'm going to send you? A good old the right comb. All right, you can never have too many of these good old fashioned combs. All right, so make sure that you inbox me, Shauna. I have all your information. I know where you was born and everything. What Terry Johnson like? I'm about to get me one of them combs too. What's up, Terry? I ain't mad at you, homegirl. She typed real quick. SF. All right. So let's hop right into it. All right, they coming. Y'all trying to make me love all the combs. Rev Air gonna kill me. All right. So this is compliments of Rev Air, the right comb. So we got a lot of SFs coming through. So Falanda, we appreciate you very, very much. So you guys make sure you inbox me or email me. That's right. Come on, let's get some more combs. Don't be trying to sell them on eBay. I'm watching y'all out here. So let's go on and let's talk about what's up with sulfate free. What's up, Miss Johnson? I see you. Sulfate free. Sulfates. What are sulfates? Are they free like Wi-Fi?
Well, y'all ready?
Y'all ready? I feel like what's his name? DOC. Are you ready for this? Yeah. Fuck it. I wish I could play some hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Put on some DOC. Is it funky enough? Y'all ready for this? All right, here we go, guys. Get ready. Because Muslima said you off the Richter scale. She said you dropping them like Hiroshima. What's up with sulfate free?
Sulfate free. Well, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to wait for somebody to answer this particular question, right?
Okay.
And by the time a person, right, wants to wash their hair, what are you washing out generally? Just generally, what are you just saying it's time? Are you looking at the clock and you're saying, I haven't washed my hair in a week. It's just time. Or what are you washing out? Can you just one thing? And what are you guys washing out?
All right, we're waiting for y'all. What are you washing out? While you're typing that, we just need a little. Muslima was like dirt. Come on, Muslima. She says products, dirt. Let's see what we got over here. Yes, we got. Miss Foster said grease, silicone, flakes. So we have oils. Oh, boy, they came through. Y'all came through real fast. Okay, so we have products, we have dirt, we have grease. We have silicones, we have flakes, we have sebum, we have oils, we have dandruff, we have product buildup. So this is what's coming through. Monica, my little sister's in the house. What's up, my little twister? My little twister. I love my little twister. Oh, Miss Foster, you came through real first. This is your thing. You're thirsty out here. She thirsty. Here we go. She thirsty. She want to get that knowledge. She thirsty for that knowledge, okay? The hootie I say spritz. Okay. You ready, Cheryl?
Yep.
Okay. Here we go, guys.
Now, and I'm going to back, because when I teach, most of the times a great teacher allows your brain to be put in the proximity of your own knowledge bank. And you pretty much can put two and two together, and then we can dialogue further. But let me just say this. So, what dishwashing fluid do most of you guys use? And I know we all use it, right?
Dawn, what's up? Miss B is in the chat. Hold on while y'all get some answers. Miss Cheryl, let me give a super duper shout out. She been looking for you, Miss Cheryl. I had to digress. I digress for a little bit. What's up? Yep, Dawn. So Cheryl, I want you to meet Miss Billy's daughter is in the chat. She's been looking for that product you've been looking for Mr. Morrow. That every time I talk to her, this is all she asked me for. She's gonna write that in the chat. But anywho, we got Dawn. I'm telling you, Cheryl, every time I let her know I'm down with you, she's like, tell them to bring back some of that stuff that you always want. Okay, so she's gonna write that in. So we got Dawn. I use Dawn dishwashing liquid. Somebody uses Palmolive. Dawn, yeah. So Dove. Okay, I didn't know Dove made dishwashing liquid. Okay, so Dove, Dawn, and Palmolive.
Okay. So in terms of sulfates, And I think that the question is a lot larger than just sulfates, but sodium lauryl or lauryl sulfates, those three names, one is a detergent, one is a foamer, and one is basically sodium was the first cleanser. So sodium, foamer, lather, detergent, which means it grabs the molecule. And let me just say this, when people say to me dirt, now you know that you have not put your head in no pile of dirt. So there is not really any dirt. You're just probably saying that's been a long time, maybe
Right.
pollutants in the air and things of that nature. What I don't really understand in terms of sulfate, so we can really realize that we do wash our hair from the very things we want to put back in them as soon as we wash them. Okay, so we all know that the moment we wash out the sebum, we want it back. The moment we wash out the oil, we want it back. As soon as we do everything that we say, do you know that we follow it with a conditioner that has oil, sugar, glucose, everything you just washed out? Okay. Now,
I fell on the floor. Shut up with you, shut up. Shit. I'm on the floor.
now, well, we just said so for us to just say, and then we step out of ourselves with the most non-logic and say, I just washed out the natural oils. So you cannot have it both ways. Now, with that being said, I'm cracking myself up here.
The chat, they in the chat, like, go ahead.
You know, and let me just say this. We are that ridiculous with this. Because we do know that in order for hair to be clean, nothing can be there. Nothing. And we can't then say, okay, now I got to put it back in. Let me go. And then we start the cycle. That's why the shampoo category is the multi-billion-dollar baby in any beauty sector. And we send everybody to the bank because of this madness.
Madness.
So let me just say this. You and I would not use a no poo in our kitchen. Them dishes got to be, look, we got to see some suds. We got to see. So.
Andrea, she up here, she done got on a soapbox. She's, you know how the soapbox minister.
No. Can you imagine us selling no poo in the dishwashing so aisle? I mean, can't you just imagine us trying to sell that?
Let me just say this. I'm sorry to interrupt y'all. First of all, thanking y'all.
No. Well, wait a minute.
Go ahead. Stop.
And just think. You just said we got to have the parabens to get the fungus. We can't have no fungus, so we got to wash that out too. And we would approach conditioner to trust that we're really going to deal with those pathogens and bacteria and fungus and dirt and spritz and sugars and stick.
Nonsense.
And then let me just say this. The shampoo molecule is so big.
So big. How big is it?
It's going straight to the drain. It's not being absorbed.
Booyah. Time to give it to ya. So let me just say this. First of all, I want to say thank y'all for the love. When you, Cheryl, make sure you look at this. When I tell you, Lee, we appreciate you. Everybody, we appreciate you. Billy daughter said what she's looking for from you is called, let me just say this right quick. I'm sorry, I got to go back through. Ocean reformation. That's all she says. Every time I see her name, she wants the ocean reformation. So Miss Billy's daughter, stick around and we're going to see if we can get you some ocean reformation. I'm not quite sure what that is, but you've been asking me about that and I came through for you, boo, because I love you. This is what we do here on this channel, okay? They said they want to hang out with you. Nope. If you want to hang out with Cheryl, stand over here to the left. It'll be $100 a ticket because I'm ghetto, fabulous. Money make the world go round, so let's handle it. You know what I'm saying, guys? No, I'm just kidding. Cheryl is very accessible to you guys. But let me say this. When that dang on, what's that stuff they call co-washing? I'm going to be honest. It was the co-washing sulfate-free movement that made me get on YouTube, because Miss B, come on through. As a matter of fact, Miss B, you need to come on up here and be doing this live with us, because she put something in the chat that I said, sheer madness. You think you gonna wash your hair with lotion? That's like washing up with your underwear on. Dudes, you cannot cleanse your hair with that kind of stuff. And it really, the natural hair movement with that co-wash, that sulfate-free co-wash, talk to us about the sulfate-free co-washing. Don't use soap. Clean your hair with conditioner. Don't use nothing. Just put this sulfate-free co-wash crap on your head.
Well, one of the things that is not logical is that then in terms of the attraction of the particles, and you're talking about you want you want the ions of the soap and the sulfate or what, the detergent, you want them to cling on to the dirt particles and loosen up all of the glues and all of the spreads and the other oils and things of that nature. But oils are very surface and they're very hard to get out, and they're very, so you're leaving a lot in when you are doing it that way. And let me just say this. I am not a person who shampoos weekly. Okay. And I've always had a head full of hair. And so at the end of the day, but some of my clients have been, they like to shampoo every other day. Most of the men, clients in men's grooming who've had most of the fungus and the scalp issues, you have to understand, water is probably more of your culprit than any product, because water's molecule is so small that it's very destructive. So before you can even attach it to what's in the bottle, you better attach it to what's in your shower head. But that's a whole nother story.
That's a whole nother story. We ain't gonna go there. We're gonna hold off on that one.
So let me just say this. But in terms of sodium lauryl sulfate, if you don't feel safe using it, and which I can understand, but let's just be clear: sodium is a natural element.
Mineral. Yeah.
It's a mineral.
Yes.
The laurel is there, or laureth is there to foam and to make it a lather. Okay, and there's the sulfate is the behavior, the ionic behavior. It's a surfactant. Those molecules have a hydrophilic and a hydrophobic leg. The hydrophilic is at the top, and then you have a little tail in terms of atoms, in terms of the charge. But they are to grab a hold, and they go straight to your sink. They're not absorbed into your hair, and they're not absorbed into the scalp. No absorption and penetration is going on.
Do y'all see that? Do you guys look at the words that's coming out of her mouth onto my hands? We want you guys to understand they're trying to take your money, and y'all got to stop following for this. When somebody says, so what should we use? Shampoo, guys. Like she said, some people, you're sensitive to the stuff. We get that. But please listen to what we're saying. The water, this is going to come down. This is not going into my skin. Do you guys see that? This is shampoo. Yeah, I put a little water on there. You see what she's saying? It's a science taking place. And y'all keep trying to laugh at science and disrespect science. But you know what? Science don't care. Science don't care nothing about your opinions and your spiritual world. Science, like, whatever, I ain't going to your skin. Nah, what you gonna say about that?
Right. And science is only the principles of the elements. They don't break rules just because you want them to. Hydrophobic rules, ionic, cations, anionics, molecules, they don't care. Science, chemistry, and particles and elements, they work. They have rules, they have laws, they have cosmic law, they have chemical laws, and you're not going to break them. You have to learn how they work in terms of reality and chemistry, and chemically and scientifically, like Ladosha says, and be able to use your cosmetic preferences.
It's your choice.
That reads the labels. Your cosmetic discernment and discrimination and discretion is what's reading the label, not your scientific facts. Those are not basically on the labels.
And
now,
so, and
FDA does govern claims. That's why they govern labels. Not all you have to, if there was no, because there's information on the label, they just want to make sure that the information on the label is true, but they do not regulate the industry.
Did you say that? Could you repeat that?
She did say that.
Yeah, please repeat that one more again.
Right. The FDA only regulates information you put or people put on labels, as in claims. If it says to do some, they don't even know, because they know that the results are temporarily, they're temporary. They know it's not going to last. So they're not heavily regulating it. However, but if the ingredients, they don't even really check those. The point is that if there is or becomes a problem and they become alert, but FDA does not, just requires you to be, a level of ethics. And that's what the FDA is there for. But they have, because most bottles are making some sort of innuendo by insinuation or by association, because you're making some kind of claim, that is where the FDA comes into contact. Other than that, they want to make sure. Now, ingredients is different from contains. So
did y'all hear that?
When someone
did you hear that?
It contains, and then the ingredients list, those are two different things.
Two different things. So let me just say that. What's up, Sean? Any here in California? He said, so am I using the wrong shampoo? More than likely you're not, because I hope what you guys are starting to understand is that these labels and all, that's all they pretty much are. We have to, by law, when you create this stuff, this is what she's saying, you have to put this stuff on there. And the FDA, these are like, they're regulators. They're just requiring it. I'm with her. First of all, do y'all know how many people sit on the FDA? There's not a whole bunch of people in that department, okay? So let's just be honest, all right? So, but in the United States, we do, because some countries don't have this, okay? And I'm not saying ours is the best. I'm not saying ours is the worst, but we do at least have something there, okay? So like she said, you have to put your stuff on here so they'll know. But all of this stuff about, it's magical and it's 500 carbon, FDA like, nah, my name Leonard, I ain't in it. You know what I'm saying? That's what the FDA is saying. When it comes to the Diva Curl, let me just say this in the Diva Curl's defense. When you read that lawsuit, I didn't read all of it, but I read some of it. What you will find is exactly what Cheryl was saying. That lawsuit really spoke to that user. What she was doing was she kept putting the stuff onto her hair. And this is what Cheryl and I were doing with the narrative, is we're helping you guys to understand that there's a cultural practice, a lot like she talked about the wives' tales and stuff that we pass down. See, when companies make products and they sell it to you guys, I don't know about you, Cheryl. But I'm just going to go on record. This is my, and I've told them to their face. So I'm going to tell you guys again, and sure, you can let me know if you know too. I only know of one company who has ever asked me personally, as a woman of color, about the culture of hair care and hairstyling for a portion, because we all don't do this the same way, and that is Rev Air. Rev Air was kind enough to hear me out about the culture. So when these, and that's Diva Curls, her mistake. She did not know the culture, that user was never going to put any soap and water on her hair. And so when you're asking us, so what should you use on the hair? You should use shampoo, but you do have your discretion. If you want to buy and that's why I play on my name, the right products, the right tools, and the right techniques. You guys never see me trying to push this stuff, because professionals don't really do that. Mm-hmm. It's called personal hygiene. So if you want to use something sulfate free and paraben free, you can, and we're going to move on over to silicones in a moment. But what we want you to understand is that Sean put it in the chat. Sean, where did it go? He said something about it's just like the science, of the vaccines or something like that. When people were saying that, oh, this stuff ain't real and this stuff is made up. Listen, guys, beauticians and barbers, we walk around all these little nanoparticles and viruses and stuff all day long. And we know that soap plays a very, very crucial, helpful, beneficial role in making sure that we decrease the likelihood of spreading what? Communicable diseases and infections. That is what this is what Cheryl and I is trying to get you guys to understand, so you can stop wasting your monies. And if you want to like the content, we're not knocking anybody who's out here on any of the social media platforms telling you to put an egg on your head. If you want to do that, you can, but Cheryl has already told you what's going to happen when you crack that egg and pour that beer on top of your head. So people are in the chat and they're saying, that's right, Miss B. Miss B said, Billy's daughter said, gone back to the basics. And you guys got to watch out for this stuff. We want you guys to tune in with us every Monday at 6 p.m. This is how it's going down. So Cheryl, let's move on over. Or did you have something else you wanted to say before we move over into silicones?
I don't know. I think I just lost my thought. But anyway, I do believe that if the shampoos can become quite simple, because they're only going to be in your head for 5 to 6 minutes. I think that could be easily settled. But when you don't know the culture, like Ms. Diva Girl did not, but I don't think they understand cosmetology. Industry as well, because in terms of who is suable, in terms of, is it the consumer, is it the professional, or is it the manufacturer? Think about it in terms of how would a doctor versus a pharmaceutical get, like, where does the highest rank, because cosmetologists don't really, or hairdresser people don't really rank that much, because at the end of the day, if something is sold over the OTC, what they call over the counter or fast moving consumer goods, you really got to take a look at, is the industry really misguiding? But you have to also remember, it's called a maintenance aisle. It is not a curing aisle or a therapeutic aisle. It's a maintenance aisle. It is to maintain you where you are, not to make you better.
You guys hear that? This is what's up, Kofi Pasai in the house? What's happening? What I was asking you, this is probably why you lost your train of thought. Could you think of another company that you can speak to besides your own, that even question the culture of hairstyling for African Americans? Now, remember, we're not saying it's a monolith, but there are some things that we do as a culture.
I worked for, I can say, Unilever has been pretty good, but I have to say I was quite impressed with. I went on tour with my father's museum with Procter and Gamble, and it was relaxed and natural at that time. Well, it was about 2007. Anyway, but the person over the ethnic department in Cincinnati did say, make sure whoever PR firm that you get, I want the team to be black. I do not want to I don't want to shoot in the dark. Black people know each other, and let's learn from them. So
that's right. Right. And we want you,
and it's probably because of me, so it was probably, it depends on who you work with. And like you, Ladosha, you're so vocal, so that matters.
Right. And we want you guys to understand that. Look for companies who do that. Just what they say, all skin folk ain't kin folk. I hope this is what you guys are understanding. A lot of people who are making these products and selling you guys this stuff, they ain't down by law. They not in your corner. They pulling that color card. You know how they say, don't get your ghetto card revoked or your ghetto pass revoked. People, they pulling on them cards, but you know what? Tricks no good up in here, because science don't care nothing about what color and all that stuff ain't real, y'all. You look for those companies who are investing into you. And this is Rev Air has no idea I'm on here talking about them like this. I just want you guys to understand. And that's why I asked Cheryl, do you know of any companies? Because a lot of, you see, I've been in the industry for 23 years. Cheryl's been in the industry for how many years?
Oh, I'm gonna stick with your number.
Okay, the same number. And so we not rolling off a bunch of companies' names. We hope this telling y'all something. And we are, I know I'm very well respected in the beauty industry. I don't really have to go and look for anybody, not because I'm key low, but because I'm ethical. You know what I'm saying? I'm ethical. And so when you work from that capacity, the companies will come and look for you. And I'm telling you guys, a lot of companies out here, even our own, we just have to put on that buyer beware, and let's just use some of and I love the way Cheryl keeps telling you guys, use your personal discretion about how and what you want to use on your hair, and then you make your choices from there, okay? Let's move right on over into silicones. Silicones, that clear, greasy, I didn't bring up any silicones, but silicones.
Okay.
Oh, Miss B says she in for 41 years. Give it up to Miss B. Miss B in the house. Miss B, 41 years. That's legacy. What's up with silicones?
Well, here we go again. Industrial, pharma, food, beauty grade. Now, silicone, of course, is powder, or it can be already crystallized into a rock, but it is natural. And once it is turned into an industrial grade for molds, soap molds, it'll be good for tires, cars, and it'll be made into apparatuses. And by that time, it is industrial and, but when in cosmetic, it is a synthetic, which means that now, before I get into it, I don't want you to hang on to natural being the zenith of what you should be obtaining. Okay? Because something natural does not alter or does not enhance, does not change, does not do anything to something that is natural already. Now,
did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear what she just say it? Say it one more again, because we got some people that just came through the chat. So we're going to say it for you guys one more time about this. Is it natural? Is it organic, as my aunt would say?
Well, organic is a whole nother ball game. It has nothing to do with natural. Nothing. Natural is natural. Organic is organic, and herbal is herbal, and botanical is botanical. Essential is essential, then in molecular weight, and then you get all to essential. Essential is toxic actually to the liver. So you should not ingest anything that's essential. But essential, if you notice, most essential oils needs a carrier because they're so toxic. Okay. And there's a reason why they're toxic, not because they're not, coconut, and it's not natural in the earth. Now, with that being said, with silicone, okay, silicone in a beauty is designed, which means that you're taking the elements, the atoms, and the chemistry, and you are making them conducive for cosmetic usage. That is what a synthetic is.
Conducive. Can everybody repeat after me, boys and girls? Everybody, on the count of 3, we're going to say our new word for the day, and it is conducive. 1, 2, 3. Conducive. Cut the bull crap out. You guys have got to be more careful out here in these YouTube and these social media streets, because these folks are selling y'all hogwash. I tell you, hogwash. It's just a whole bunch of hogwash.
So
okay,
now,
here she goes. Come on back.
Now, do we believe that Crisco or any other oil, we gonna spray it on our hair? No, that is not logical, and that does not make sense. So what we do is that we ask a wonderful person like myself, can you go in there and make something that perform oil-like? Doesn't mean that it's bad, but it is better for cosmetic usage. And those are what's cosmetics, because they're designed that way. They're not synthetic as if it came out of a robot or something. It just means that I took natural elements with lipids and powders and other elements, and I put them together, and I made a silicone, because a silicone is going to last for 10 hours cosmetically versus something natural that's going to last 5 minutes.
Boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop.
But it doesn't mean that it's going to cause, it's carcinogenic, and it's, oh my God, and it's this and it's that. And my point is, now, what if the industrial grade of silicone, would that be cosmetically conducive? No. But you do have cosmetic and food grade and industrial grade, natural, herbal, botanical, or all those things are not the same thing. And I will say, I love a wonderful silicone spray.
Listen, I'm the silicone queen. I got silicone in my own damn hair care products. Now, I'm going to tell you, I might be some dumb, damn it, but I ain't plumb dumb. Tell him, the hootie. Tell him, Ladosha might be some dumb, but she ain't plumb dumb. My mother used to say, well, not my mother, my daddy used to say, believe none of what you hear and half of what you read. You hear what I'm saying out here? Y'all hear what we saying to you guys? I'm not one of those people out here. I like a silicone. When you talk about
silicone is organic design.
Yeah, I mean, people say it builds up and it causes dry. People be lying, man.
Well, let me just say this. When one of y'all or anyone on the planet can tell me the molecular weight of sebum and the molecular weight of a silicone, and if you tell me that that is not the same molecular weight, or silicone may even be lighter. So at the end of the day, if sebum is waxier, and if sebum is designed and you guys are washing it out like 5 minutes, like 100 miles going west at the end of the day, and if silicone synthetically designed by human hands in an organic way is lighter than sebum wax, fatty acids, triglycerides, with all that stuff coming out of your skin, if silicone could be lighter, then you cannot tell me that you're washing out the silicone. You could be probably washing out your own sweat and your own body waste and residues and all that junk you're putting in it. Mm-hmm. Right? And at the end of the day, you're going with lightness. I mean, at the end of the day, if you guys can understand that, especially those who like science like me, If you can get to a nano scale, so when you got like centimeters, milliliters, you got, and then you got all of the size of all of the particles. And then you get into the milligrams, gigabytes, megabytes, yottabytes, petabyte, and you're getting to this whole scale.
What about dog bites? No, I'm just kidding.
From let's say, and you can find them online. You can Google them, but it's this really big, beautiful scale to where you go from a atom all the way to the biggest molecule on the face of this planet, and you can begin to understand, what size and molecular size, it matters. And so, but, and I understand you guys are susceptible to labels, but when you're not getting the result, I don't want you to think that it's you. It's the companies. There's a difference between, there's a distance and there's a bridge in between what you think you know and what is actually really real. So I am talking to you today from just merely, not my brand, not me I'm just telling you for what science says. And you have to remember who's telling you. Are they trying to sell you something? Or are they trying to change your mind? Or why are they trying to change your mind? And, they're hitting agendas.
Y'all, you know what? They hanging in here with us. We about 23 minutes over, but you guys are really liking the content. Now, there's someone named Lawana that's sitting in the chat. I'm not quite sure. Lawana, were you trying to come through the chat or you're just here hanging out? I'm going to let you raise your hand up and let me know. Did you want to come in and answer a question? That's one. And then two, while we're waiting on Lawana, I did drop the link in the chat if somebody just wants to come in before we wrap up. But let me just say this about that whole sebum oil. Now, some of you guys, and Cheryl, you could just correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Now, a lot of you guys may have had some plumbing problems, in the shower, the kitchen sink, and the hair salon. We have them all the time. If you don't clean your traps, you're in a whole bunch of traps. Now, I ain't talking about them kind of traps. Hold on now. I ain't talking about them kind of traps, all right? Y'all know what I'm talking about, all right? I'm talking about hair traps, okay? Not trap music, not trap house, but hair traps, okay? Let me just say this. Talk to your plumber about the power of sebum oil and just how heavy this stuff is in comparison to a silicone. Because 9 times out of 10, the bulk of the problem that you have in the shower and with the hair salon traps is not about the clogged hair. It's about what? Sebum that's coming off the body. Cheryl, as Chill would say, talk to me. Tell them about that.
And let me just say this: if you guys ever seen some dry hair in the sink, in your pipes? No, because you poured soap down there, and soap is what? Oily. And the hair and soap is very, and people would say, "Oh no, I'm gonna wash out the oils," but it's very oily once you get the gook out of the hair, and it's so oily. So even soap, and I just wanted to give a shout out to Lawana. She's from my neck of the woods, Ladosha. So give her a good, warm welcome.
What's up, Lawana?
She's SD, mother of Afrofuturism.
What's up, Lawana? Can we bring her through right quick? All right, Lawana, here you come. She like, come on, bring me on through. Lawana, what's up, Lawana? Hi, your cousin. It's me, Key Lolo. Let me change this little thing right here. Let's see if we can do that. There we go. Oh, well, maybe I might want the other one. Let's try that. There we go. What's up, Lawana? Talk to us. Tell us who you are, what you are all about. We have some wonderful people in the chat. We thank you guys so much. Lawana, tell us who you are. What's going on? Oh, unmute you. Oh, let me unmute you. You got to unmute your mic.
There we go.
There we go. Oh, nope. Hit it again. Is she still muted?
I think she's muted.
There you go.
Okay, I had to switch mics. All right, so I'm Dr. Lawana Richmond, and um, a lot of people know me as like the local mother of Afrofuturism. I do work with different foundations and organizations. Sometimes I might do something for the UN. I teach, preach, live, walk Afrofuturism because, it's all well and good to study history and know what's happening right now. But if we're not going to use that information in order to make a difference tomorrow, we're just, chatting and chewing. And
You hear
I'm
that?
here for this because I really believe that, understanding, dispelling the myths and understanding how to love ourselves and love our hair, regardless of what we do or do not do with or to our hair, because it is our prerogative. But just to be able to do it healthfully, because there's nothing more heartbreaking to a woman, I think, than when she has hair problems with the health of her hair that could have been avoided if she had been more well informed.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Luana. And this is what I mean. What she said was very, poignant and important. And that is, we're not here to rob you guys of your choice. We want you guys to understand the power of choice. It's a wonderful, wonderful power. Don't allow anybody to rob you or deceive you of your power. In the chat, Seneferu, I believe that Seneferu was asking, will the shampoo remove the silicones from the hair? The answer is yes. And then we also see Miss Foster said that sometimes she saw that she was having a problem with some of the co-washing and all these fancy words, because you guys are dead on. What you are experiencing at home, you're not going crazy. And this is why we call this podcast the dumbest hit that people say about black hair. This is us. We y'all cousins. You got Dr. Lawana. She gonna be in the chat with us more. I hope you coming back. This can't be the last time
I'm coming
that you're
back.
gonna be here sharing with us. Like she said, what good is it for us to have this content of in the past if we're not going to carry it forward? And so this is why we need you guys to help change the narrative about a lot of this stuff. We hope that when you guys go back, and I mean guys and girls, because we have a lot of brothers in the chat. I'm always thankful to see men interacting with us, because after all, men have hair too. That you will take this information and begin to have a very healthy dialogue, so we don't have no mass killings and shootings of afro heads of hair. These things can be prevented with the right information. So before we wrap this up, Dr. Lawana, what's new in the world of Afrofuturism? Where can people learn more about it? Let's give up, because a lot of people like, ooh, Afrofuturism, that sounds dope. That because it is dope. So give us a little bit about what's happening in the world of Afrofuturism, and how can all of our wonderful people in the chat find or learn out more about Afrofuturism? Because I saw some Afrofuturism art inside the World Beat Center, and I was just like, Jesus. Okay. So
Yeah.
take it away.
All right. So first of all, this year, the Carnegie Hall in New York hosted a 2-month Afrofuturism festival with artists, music. There were virtual and in-person workshops, panels, sessions, concerts, art exhibits. And for me, the highlight was when I got to make some inquiries of George Clinton about the mothership connection, and learned about how he sees his music, and how he has always been futuristic. In terms of what's happening, the success of that 2-month festival at Carnegie Hall, with side events at places like the Schomburg Center, has led to other cities taking an active interest in hosting their own local festivals. At UC San Diego, I got to plug my gig. We actually teach Blacktronica. We're launching a diaspora and African American studies major, and we'll be doing an Afrofuturism festival at UC San Diego, a music festival in late October. In terms of what I'm working on, I'm planning a Afrofuturism event during San Diego Comic-Con called the Afrofuturism Lounge in partnership with the San Diego African American Museum of Fine Arts. The theme will be Freedom Riders for the Future, because at that site there will be an exhibit of freedom riders from the civil rights movement, of their mugshots. And so we can talk about where we were, where we are, and where we're trying to go. We'll have comic book creators, exhibitors, artists. I think there's going to be some NFTs on screen, and we'll have music and performances, and we'll be educating people, but in a fun way. In the fall, Labor Day weekend, I'll be hosting AfroCon, which is an Afrofuturist consciousness convention at the San Diego Jackie Robinson YMCA. And that'll include also, in addition to the comic book exhibits, the panels, the workshops, the art, the interactive activities for children, we'll also have hair and fashion exposition, where we'll be talking about hair and fashion of the future. And there will also be a film festival. Currently, I have a call out for film shorts, and depending upon capacity, I may also be able to make space for some features.
Woo! Now the narrative. We're gonna try. Now, when is this? When is the film festival? We might have to try to put something. I might have to get inside my iMovie and start moving some things around. So when might that be again?
So the big event is the weekend. It's September 3rd and 4th of this year. It'll be Labor Day weekend at the San Diego Jackie Robinson Y.
Okay, now I hope you guys are starting to understand San Diego is not just some, man, let me say this about San Diego. I'm just going to say it in 3 words. Black on 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 black.
I mean, people don't know that, like, the civil rights movement happened here. People like to think, they like to look around San Diego and like use things like metrics to like measure, because of, whatever number or percentage of us are here. And they don't understand, we may not have like a double-digit representation, but those of us that are here, we are making things happen. We have everything in San Diego.
That's why I might be moving to San Diego. I might have to come on. Let me just tell y'all, I plan on doing some things in San Diego. So you guys got to stick around. If Cheryl will have me come and bum rush the show, and San Diego is going down. But now we need you to, can you drop all the Afrofuturism, in the chat? That's one. And then 2, we're going to have you, Cheryl, with your permission, somehow, some way, you're going to have to come through, because this now your second home online, because this audience is building, as you can see. I think Cheryl and I, we are definitely on to something. We cannot help change the narrative by ourselves. You see my heart. Look at that. Look, Miss B the cat. Look, Cheryl, this is how you know. I keep trying to tell y'all, we own this stuff. This is my girl, Miss B. She's a cosmetologist, 41 years. She the guy in the car. Cheryl.
I was zooming. I was passing like I said, I forget this in the chat. I'm coming live because I'm trying to tell you, I have been a cosmetology instructor for over 30 years. I have had the coldest, when I say coldest, pioneers of Cleveland, that I was able to just stand on their shoulders and those ladders that they held for me. When I tell you I sleep, drink, and eat hair, but what they don't realize is the foundation. Nothing changed in that cosmetology book. It is still live and living color, but they want to branch off and do their own thing. But if you go back to the basics, it's just like going home to mama. Ain't nothing changed, baby. See, that's what they don't understand. That same chemistry book in the chemistry chapter is the same. All this, they ain't got to look at this. Open up your book. Go back to the basics.
She came to everybody. They said everybody in the chat, like, I'm going back to my soul face. That's what we are talking about. Remember, Cheryl said in the very first, and I hope you guys are also seeing the build on this. We are not here to try to preach and all this other stuff. We want you guys to understand the power of choice. And then we got Dr. LaWanna that's saying we can't stay in the past forever, y'all. We got to come on and we got to
up.
go forward. But before we can go forward, we have to give you guys the support and the love and the empathy and the patience, because we know you guys know it in your spirit that something about that sulfate or some of this stuff wasn't right, but you needed just a little validation. And that's all Cheryl and I, and Dr. LaWanna, I'm just going to bring you in. I'm going to bring in Dr. B, you know, I said Dr. B, Dr. LaWanna. This is what we are here for, you guys, to use that to help give you that wiggle room so that you can do what Miss Foster, that's why I'm going to mail this out to you. Please make sure that you inbox me so that I can put this in the mail tomorrow, because I'll be wearing it next week. You know me, I told you I'm contrario, I'm ghetto and country at the same time. So here we go. This is going to be now next week. We have giveaways. So if you guys come on and stay with us, please make sure you share the content. Dr. LaWanna is dropping the information about Afrofuturism. It is in our best interest that we partner with her to share, because people are already in the chat like, wow, I never knew that. This stuff is nice. We didn't know such a thing existed. What's up, Duke? We got Duke Foster in the chat. So we're here. We are here to help you guys out. And Dr. LaWanna, thanks for the impromptu invite and commitment. See how I put that in there?
Commitment.
The commitment. You can't leave us now. This ain't no entanglement.
One more thing to do, right?
You know, this ain't no entanglement. This a relationship.
I love it.
We love you. This love at first sight.
All right, I'm gonna head out because I gotta go to another meeting. But this has been great, and I'll be talking to Cheryl. We may have some news to share with y'all soon too.
Okay, all right. Everybody, big ups for Dr. LaWanna of Afrofuturism. You guys stay tuned, stay posted. She'll be back to join us. Thank you so much. Enjoy your meeting. All right. That's what we're here for, guys. Now we will be back. It's the only reason why she up here, because what's that stuff you want?
Ocean reformation.
Look, every time, once I told her I met you, that's all. Did you ask her about some ocean? I said,
when I tell you that product will stop anything from happening. If that hair is coming off, see, this is what people don't understand. You got to understand how to keep the hair on the head. If you want to eat to live, you better know how to keep the hair on the head. It ain't about and excuse me for the wig makers and the weave. I am old school. I keep your natural strand on your hair. That ocean reformation, somebody can come in, had a baby, had stuff going on, medication, everything. You put that on that hair, put them underneath the dryer, come back and rinse them off. Baby, it stops immediately. I'm trying to tell you what I know.
Now, this is how you know a product is good. When I tell y'all, Cheryl is unapologetically brilliant legacy coming through. A cosmetologist and got in her damn car.
In my car.
I'm
on my way. I said, I'm about to break. I said, where's Taylor at? I was coming. When I tell you, Cheryl, it is an honor. Let me tell you something. Willie Morrow is my daddy on the side, baby. That's all I got to say, because I talked his products all the way. Mr. Black is gone to heaven. But when I tell you, Mr. Black, honey, made us use all of his products. And honey, that's why I know what I know. I know what I'm talking about.
All right. So we came through with some science. Everybody.
Yes.
We appreciate
I got you, ma'am. With me and Ladosha get that together.
All right.
Thank you.
That's how it's going down.
And it's coming back. Let me tell you something. Put that back on the market, because I'm telling you, that's a money maker right there. They don't know nothing about that.
Get over it so they can see you.
Oh, wait.
Come on over here. There you go. This Miss B, y'all. Y'all know who Miss B is. She won Cleveland's premiere. I'm telling y'all, this bad Mocha Joker, when she come up, she done came up. There she go. She done came up to the salon. I told you, Cheryl.
I was not playing.
Cheryl thought I was joking. I said, Cheryl, we going to something. So now, everybody, please don't be rolling up to Cheryl's house. Please don't be rolling up. Don't go up to her house, so she's not going to let y'all in. This is a public facility, so the public is more than welcome. But don't y'all be Googling no Cheryl Morrow addresses. Don't be doing that now, okay? So they want to interview. I need to do an
You should
interview.
bring her here.
Okay, so they want to bring you to Cleveland.
Yeah, you should come
Jesus.
to Cleveland.
All right,
Come
they told me they want to bring you to Cleveland. Okay, well, first let's get through the documentary, and then we're gonna let all the sheriff, everybody's like they looking for you. Y'all can't be in the chat writing this stuff. Y'all gonna they ain't scaring you, are they, Cheryl? She like, y'all looking
You
for
know
me.
who her daddy is? Come on, she already used to this.
Right. And let me just say this. It's time. It's just, and let me just say this. And this is just a hairdresser and a cosmetologist comment. I'm tired of getting my ass kicked in the marketplace, and it's time for us to take it back. We got to be the architects and the social engineers of what we want to see in the future. So,
I got blocked. Remember that girl blocked me?
Yeah. All right, they want an interview of you too, so I will make sure I can make that happen. Like an interview you. We do have a request for this is from Mr. Where did he go? Was it Dahudi Ma'at? Was it where did he go? It was the nephew. He wanted to talk about I just lost it. Okay, so anywho, if there is something that you guys would like for us to cover, everybody is like, yes, please come to Cleveland. Please make sure you drop us what you would like for us to discuss in the chat, okay? And we will cover the topic. If we don't get one, we'll go ahead on and create one to help keep the conversation going. But tonight, we appreciate you as we talked about the reality of what they don't tell you at the hair salon. We're talking about the truth about paraben-free, sulfate-free, and silicone. The answer, of course, at the end of the day is to use your discretion, but understand that the science is here for you guys, and we will be back next week. And Dr. Lawana, we're going to get her information to drop that in the chat, and that is all about Afrofuturism. Miss B, she's just going to be coming through. I'm
coming back.
She's just going to be sitting here on the sideline.
And before next week, go back and dust that book off and open up and read your chemistry chapter. Just read your whole book. Refresh yourself.
All right.
If you refresh yourself, you'll know what you're talking about.
All right. So the topic that they want us to talk about next week is they want to know about the dumb-ish that people say about a regimen. How often should we clean this hair? And how often should we be doing this? We're going to get that covered and a host of others, because that's another thing people want to talk about. So we will be back next week. And again, we are always talking about some of the dumbest hit that people say about black hair with my co-host, that we're not in an entanglement, the unapologetically brilliant, and I hope you guys are understanding, brilliant Cheryl, Morrow, and all the people who got a free comb. I think there's 4 people in the chat who's going to get a free comb mailed out to them. And then Miss Foster, you will win a t-shirt. Next week, we're going to give away some more goodies. So make sure you come through. I might give away some hair care products. And I think that's next week. And so next week, our topic is going to be about hair care regimen when it comes to how often can you put heat on your hair? How often can you color your hair? All these regimens that you guys want to know about. Cheryl is going to break down the frequency. If you swipe 2 passes or 10 passes with the flat iron, straightening comb, putting the curly perm, what's the regimen for a relaxer? How often should you put this stuff? Is it every 4 weeks? Is it every 6 weeks? Is it every 8 weeks? So we're going to answer all of those questions about regimen. So Miss Muslima, that one will be dedicated to you, and we thank you so very much. Everybody say they're all ready for next week and ain't even got here yet.
What time?
And this going to be.
Way I don't have to fly up here. I'm gonna be on.
All right, so we will be back next Monday at 6 p.m.
Right.
Please share the content. They want that heat advice. I didn't drop fires in the chat. Thank you so much, Dahudi. I appreciate your support. You guys know what we say when we're Sean, Mr. Sean, any Harit. If you're still in the chat, make sure you come through with that science, because I love when you drop the science. And Mr. Kofi Pasa, I appreciate your support, because I'm still using my Kofi mic. You see that, Kofi? You see that Kofi mic? So I'm gonna go ahead and say, you know what I say when I'm always signing. Come on, get in, Miss B. All right. So you know what I say when I'm always signing out, right? right. What's up, Miss Melanie? I see you in the chat. Y'all go ahead on and watch it post live, okay? I'm always talking about a whole lot of peace, most certainly a whole lot of love. That's how much I love Miss B. And for sure, a whole lot of hair. But check this out. If you ain't got no hair, don't want no hair, can't stand hair, can't grow no hair, maybe you gonna even cut it off in 2022. You know what Cheryl and I say? Don't even worry about it, y'all. Just rub your beautiful ball, even if it's a patch. Just rub it. Wanna know why? Because patches and bald heads are beautiful too, and so are you. Ain't that right, Miss B?
Right, that's
Don't let
right.
nobody talk about y'all bald head. Bald heads look good out here. See y'all next week at 6 o'clock. Thanks, Cheryl.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Miss B.
Bye-bye.